call this meeting of the Logan County Commissioners to order. Please rise for the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you all for attending. We'll move on to item 3. Any citizen desiring to be heard? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 4. Consideration and possible action on minutes of April 15th and 26th of 2021.
I'll move that we approve.
I will second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Did I get aye from you?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes unanimously. Thank you, sir. All right, item 5, consideration possible action on final plat of Charter Oak Hill, Section 4 in the southeast quarter of Section 24-15 North and 2 West. Sir.
Come on down. Where's the language on the road?
I believe it's down here. We did have them change it to also include the county wasn't filed for the rules.
That must be maintained by Logan County Commissioner's Office. I'll move we approve.
I will second.
Okay. Did you second?
Yes.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the plat?
Thank you.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Now we'll do the signatures.
Do this while it's at this end.
How many lots y'all got down there?
26 total in this section. There's one more section after this, so another 24, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good luck with it. Sir, appreciate it. Good luck on finding a terrible bill.
Yeah, that's the problem. The windows are 9 weeks out right now.
Like 4 breaks again. That's crazy.
We order windows for it and close on them. So I can have them when I need them.
Sure.
Coming along out there.
It really is. You just got very land,
Charter Oak right there just east of the Charter Oak Elementary.
Yeah, that's fine. Who's pen? Troy. Thank you, Troy.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good day.
Two. Good luck.
Thank you.
So without objection from the board, I'd like to consider items 6 and 7 at the same time because they're, the right-of-way utility affidavit is contingent upon clearing that first. So I think we need to have that discussion first before we talk about signing the title sheet and the right-of-way and utility affidavits for Coltrane Road. So with that, understand that you've done some research on the gas line that we talked about last time,
We have.
and that you've got some news for the board on that.
I do. We got the plans from OG&E, and we modified the plans to raise the drainage, and we are now able to go over the gas lines. So we are confident that the utilities are not in conflict, and as I mentioned last time, we're also good with the right-of-ways.
So we have located the gas lines then, because the last time we were here, I think that was part of the issue, was we didn't know where they were at. We know where they were supposed to be, but when we were out potholing for utilities earlier, they couldn't be found. Is that correct?
We could not find them then, but when I was here last time, I mentioned that I found some emails in 2015
Right.
that identified where they were, and they were in conflict with the drainage structures at that time. Since then, we have raised the drainage structures over the top of the gas lines.
Okay, so the existing engineering plans compensate for that already? So we don't have to change the engineering plans, so nothing needs to change?
We've already changed them
When you say we've already changed them, when did we do that?
yesterday.
Okay. And that's not going to cause a change order, or did it increase? I guess what I'm looking at, did it increase the cost of the construction in the, what do you guys call those, pay items?
Pay item? No.
I think it'll be a wash. I think I did a quick run through and we raised the road a little bit at that location to get the pipe a little higher to maintain, you know, get the proper depth over the pipe too. But that additional fill material will be taken out with the, you know, we're raising the drainage structure. We had additional depths in drainage structures, which is a cost, and I think it'll be really close. So I just wanna-
Okay. And then you mentioned that you looked at the OG&E. We're really not moving any power poles, right?
ONG, sorry. We keep saying OG&E.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll follow you.
Yeah, I was, so I related that to planting poles on top of gas lines that we had a problem with on the north.
No.
Twice.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, this is a service line that's going underneath the road from ONG.
Okay, right. So as far as you're concerned, everything's
Clear.
everything's ready to go.
That's correct.
Okay,
Shovel ready.
Shovel ready.
once again.
Well, we have some markups from ODOT, okay? When we submitted the plans last week, they had some markups and we're working on those. But we've talked to ODOT about it, and we're gonna have everything ready to them in time to bid the project.
When you say markups, what areas, what are we talking about?
They usually go through a review once we submit them, and they mark the plans up. I mean, they got questions about distance behind the curves and things like that, things that we will address as normal procedures.
Okay. Anything that could hold the project up that they've marked up?
Not that I've found yet.
All right. Any questions from the rest of the board?
No, I'd move we approve.
I would second.
I have a motion and a second to approve all three, the right-of-way, utility affidavit, the utility affidavit, and the title sheet for Coltrane Road Phase 3.
That's my motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Did you have just the one copy of this?
I do.
If you'll pass that to Marvin to sign that affidavit, I'm gonna make a copy.
you ready to get this behind you, huh?
Yeah, well, it's been a long time. I think this project started.
So, under this, gentlemen, under utilities, I get three options here. First, there are no utilities in conflict with construction of this project. Number two, all utilities have been relocated and are completely clear of construction on this project. And number three, all utilities will be clear of construction before blank day of blank year.
Number two.
Number two. Okay.
There are no conflicts over the first one, right?
Hold on. Number two says that they've already been relocated and there's no conflict, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay, because they were in.
Did we move some utilities?
We did back in 2012.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, encroachments. There are four here. There are no encroachments in conflict with the construction of this project. Number two, all encroachments have been removed and will clear of construction of this project. I don't understand that reading. All encroachments will clear construction on or before a certain day of a month of this year. And number four, there are no property owners or tenants being displaced.
There are no property owners being displaced. And number one. What?
Is there, they bought 3 parcels way back when. But I don't know if that's
That it can be
considered.
true and correct by initialing each statement that applies.
Number one.
Okay.
Before you sign that, Marvin,
Yes, ma'am.
can I make a copy so I can get two?
All right. Kind of initial
That'll be
that's
fine, just so I can do this.
All right.
There's a lot of people that are ready to see this project finished.
Yes. And a lot of them are sitting here at this table. Today is 30th, correct?
Today is
April 30th. Thank you.
Stephen, we gotta take one, right? Scan it in.
Yeah, that's why I made one, so that we would have an original.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, item 8. I made a promise to the board I'd bring this back to us at the appropriate time. We talked about it earlier this year. And it is consideration of possible action concerning non-renewal of Logan County membership in CED 5. I brought a copy of the CED, the legislation that created the CEDs for us to review. And And then on the back page here, I've got a copy of kind of an interesting document that you can't find in public. It's not in the public domain, but it's the Oklahoma Department of Transportation Circuit Engineering District Agreement, and it's an attachment D called Scope of Work. And it basically, you can read that, where the department, ODOT, requires support of the circuit engineering districts for program services for the SERV project that includes the 5-year construction work plan. Nowhere in our agreement with CED does it talk about this. But this document, the scope of work document, is signed by the leadership of the CED. So you've got about 3 people that are on that board or run that board that see this and sign this. It never comes before the entire board for open discussion in a public meeting. So when we as a board talk about we really don't need or want a CED managing our SERV projects, because that's what we're supposed to do for our constituents, is to figure out where projects need to be located in Logan County. The CEDs don't always agree with that, and here's how they get a little bit behind us on that. And I mean, one of the things that jumps out at me here, it says the CED will minimize the department's need to apply its own resources, and the department at its option may elect to expand, reduce, or delete the extent of each work element described in the scope of work. So it means that the ODOT can change it just because, you know, it's not something they want to do. So that also implies that ODOT can do that scope of work themselves. They don't want to have to do that, and that's kind of some of the pushback we get back from ODOT when we ask them to come talk to us about our sort of 5-year plan, is that they don't want to have to do that with us because they don't want to do it with the other 76 counties, right? So one of the things that I outlined on the first page of the circuit engineering, the law that creates the circuit engineering districts is item A, and it talks about the objective of the circuit engineering district. It says it shall be to, and then I highlighted, enable the cooperation, allow county governments to make the most efficient use of their powers by enabling them to cooperate with each other and other units of government on the basis of mutual advantage. And I would submit to our board that oftentimes things that happen at CED board, especially as it relates to the sort of 5-year plan, are often not to the mutual advantage of our county. Item B on page 2 is where it starts with the authority of the circuit engineering district shall be as follows. And nowhere in that authority from those 10 items that are listed under there does it say that the circuit engineering district gets to determine what the SERV budget for our county is year to year. And that's what they've been doing, and that happens under that scope of work that none of us get to see and none of us get to talk about. So, and I talk about the scope of work because one of the things that I've often proposed is that we receive our funding based on the type and number of transportation infrastructure items that we maintain. So we maintain just over 1,260 road miles. So that's what, almost a little over 2,500 miles of ditches that we have to keep cleaned out. Lots of culverts and drainage systems that we have to keep clean. Now these are in the rural parts or in the unincorporated areas of the county. We also have well over 200 bridges that we're responsible for, and over half of those are structurally deficient. But none of that matters when we talk about SERV funding. So SERV funding is given to the transportation divisions. Ours is, I believe, Division 4, and that's about $15 million a year that goes to them, and that's divided amongst, somehow it's divided amongst the counties that are in that division. However, ODOT says that they don't divide the money up, and it's not based on a prorated or pro rata share of counties. But no one can tell us how that the money is capped, or when we get our yearly 5-year serve plan, it says we've got X number of dollars to work with. Nobody can come up and tell us how much money, or how that dollar figure is arrived at. But somewhere, someone in the CED is the one that determines that based on conversations with ODOT. But those are conversations that are never had in public. And that's one of the reasons why I believe that, one, I would bring this back to the Board of Commissioners to not renew our membership in CED5 and seek another like-minded county that would be interested in joining with Logan County to create CED9, and where we would manage our own money, our own funds, and come to some understanding on how this is supposed to be done. And with that, I'll let you guys have at it.
Do you have another county in mind to join up with?
I've got several that I'm going to be talking with that are interested.
Would it be wise to leave one until we have another one that we're ready to form?
Well, that is certainly an option, Monty, but I will tell you that if there are very few counties that will say, yeah, we're willing to leave on, when are you going to do it? You know, because if we don't do it first, if we're not like a what do they call those professional players that are out on their own? Free agent, yeah. If we're not considered a free agent under this for a little while, the discussions that we may have with other counties to come join us would kind of be a what if, right? And people don't normally respond very well to what ifs. But if we take the initiative to move forward with this, I believe we will find a like-minded county that wants to join with us and do this.
How will this affect our current 5-year plan?
It won't.
Will it?
It won't. Our board comes up with our 5-year plan, and if we're not a member of a CED, how in the world could a CED affect our 5-year plan? Because it doesn't say on there that we have to be a member of the CED to participate in the SERV program.
Whatever you want to do.
Well, I appreciate that, Monty. One of the things that I would like for us to consider while we're talking about this is that we have 60 days, that's why I brought it up today. We have 60 days to notify the CED that it's our intent to withdraw. And with end of June being the time that those renewals come up, I wanted to give them that 60 days. Now, within that 60 days, I believe that if we decide that, you know, it's not something that we want to pursue right now, I think we could probably withdraw that letter.
Well, you know how I feel about CEDs. I'm not too fond of it myself.
Right.
And I'm still new at them, so.
Right. Someone in the citizen would like to ask a question?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I don't know anything. Does this affect funding in either way? If we are part of it or not part of it, if we join, do we lose funding, or do we get the same? Do we get more?
Well, we don't get more. Do we get the same? There is a CED cash fund that is there, and what's happened this last year is we got a whole lot less distribution on that cash fund than we have in previous years. Previous years, our county was given $100,000 and more because we managed the CED kind of within the counties that were members. Now they've hired an engineering firm at what, a little over $7,000 a month. Monty, is that what it was?
I believe that's right.
Yeah, $7,000 a month they're spending for an engineering firm to send out agendas and record agendas and take notes, and that's, yeah, it's, so they're burning through a lot of our money. The way we look at it, it's our money, and there was a few counties that did not agree with the hiring that engineering firm, and I believe Monty was one of them that voted no on that. To answer your question, yes, we did get $40,000 this year, but I look for next year not to get anything, because it'll go, that's kind of the way that goes downhill pretty quick.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
As far as the plan, it don't change anything on the circle plan.
Right. So,
I guess I'm just a little reserved because, I mean, 40,000 is better than nothing. But on the other hand, you know, they are smoking through the money.
right. You know, Monty, if we're able to secure another county to come together with us to make up CED 9, then those funds will come to that CED, our portion of those funds, and we'll be able to manage those ourselves. Again, there is some risk. I've got no qualms about that. But I believe, you know, it's kind of back like some of my military instructors, you know, there is some risk there, but there's no reward without taking a little bit of risk.
So I get, can they control if you create another CED district?
No, sir. The first rattle out of the box on the legislation that talks about CEDs, it says the Board of County Commissioners of any county in this state may create a circuit engineering district with any other county or counties. Period. That's the first rattle out of the box. So they cannot keep us from forming another CED.
Whatever y'all got on your mind. I mean, I'm good.
So if I make a motion to approve the way this is written, consideration of possible action concerning non-renewal, to approve a non-renewal letter being sent to CED 5, would you second that?
I think I will.
Okay. Then I'm going to consider that a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Sir, you.
No discussion. I'm fine with whatever y'all want for the board, whatever is best for the board.
Well, I think in the long run this will be best for the county. I think in the short term we might catch some flack over it, but hey, Logan County's kind of on the tip of the spear in a lot of areas like that. So, all right. So I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Any comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen, for the consideration. Item 9, consideration of possible action on resolution accepting $1,000 donation from Pfeiffer Farms Goats to District 3 for rock on Pine between State Highway 51, County Road 60. Those are some rich goats out there.
Definitely, I'll move that we approve.
I will second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the donation. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Item 10, consideration possible action on resolution accepting $1,000 donation from Brian Poole to District 3 for rock on pine between State Highway 51 and County Road 60.
I'll move we approve.
I will second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. All right. Item 11, consideration of possible action on the resolution declaring the following equipment surplus and disposing by consignment sale. Marshall Fire Department, a 1979 Ford Seagrave pumper truck, VIN number ending EB 2300.
I'll make a motion we approve.
I will second.
Have a motion and a second to approve surplusing. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Item 12, consideration of possible action on claim. Ma'am? Oh, okay. Consideration of possible action on claim to the State of Oklahoma for 2020 loss of revenue during to additional homestead exemption in the amount of $26,890.00.
And what's the odds of getting reimbursed?
0.
Awesome.
But we're not eligible if we don't send the paper.
Might as well ask.
So this is one of the things that they say that there are funds, or you're eligible to ask for reimbursement, but they never put funds in the pool to pay for the reimbursement. It's kind of like our 12.5% FEMA reimbursement from the state that never happens because they never allocate the funds to do that.
That's the first part that's rated when they look at that.
I see.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I will second. I have a motion and a second to approve the submission. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Okay. Item 13, consideration of possible action on purchase order in the amount of $81,835 from CBRI account for overlay of Charter Oak Road between Broadway and Bryant. That is a nasty stretch of road through there, and we're happy to have the opportunity to fix it. This gentleman is part of the CBRI funds that were allocated to our district, and we haven't expended those yet.
I'll move we approve.
I will second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're going to start paving, weather permitting, the week of the 11th of May, so that's coming up pretty quick. We'll be out there fixing potholes, grinding roads, and fixing push-outs next week, starting on the 5th, if we can get our utilities located, because they're running a little bit behind. Again, all this is weather dependent, because if it starts raining sideways again, we're not going to be able to get out there after that. All right. Item 14, consideration of possible action on egress agreement with Paul Dodson for District 1 to enter his property at Canley's Terra Estates, Block 30, Lot 30, Block 1, to remove a tree stump. Gentlemen, when this was first brought to me, I didn't understand that this tree stump was entirely on this gentleman's private property. He cut down the tree after the storm. I believe that, I mean, we filled it out and sent it in here, but I'm not sure this is something that we want to try and justify. I don't know how we can justify taking county property, using county equipment on private property when there's no obvious benefit to the county in doing so. Right. So as long as, my understanding, as long as there's a mutual benefit, to the county to enter private property, for example, taking brush onto private property so it can be burnt there, so we don't have to haul it out, those kind of things. So with that, I can't support approving this, even though I brought it to the board.
Sounds good, no action.
No action.
No action. All right. No action. Thank you, gentlemen. Sorry to take up our time with that. Item 14, consideration and possible, item 15, excuse me. Item 15 is no longer required, so no action on that one either. Item 16, consideration possible action on obtaining quotes for installation of heat and air system on east side of first floor of the courthouse. So I want to know, how did the county clerk get her air conditioner on the agenda before yours, right before yours?
I have no idea.
Just checking. Yes, ma'am.
So, as you all are aware, the treasurer's office, the county clerk's office are using window units for heat and air. There is central in every other area of the building. Our heat and air window units, not only are they costly to operate, they have one by one become not usable or not working well. And for the cost of those, the better investment may be to move into a more centralized. We had Integrity come out. Because of the chopped up way the offices are, particularly my office, running ductwork to go to a true central system is just not feasible. They're not going to be able to get it duct in there. So they recommended that we look at mini split units. He came through. It would take 5 mini split units to do the treasurer's office and the county clerk's office for an estimated cost at the high end of $36,000. We would need to obtain a couple of other quotes. This was just to kind of give us an idea and let the board decide whether it was something that they were going to move forward with obtaining at that price point.
So I don't think it costs us anything to get quotes, and so I would move that we make a motion that we move ahead with that.
And the reason I phrased it that way, not only did the board need to commit to consideration, because of the price and the law, we have to obtain multiple quotes.
Right.
So.
Understood.
I'll second the motion. You do have temperature sensitive equipment in there, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, all of those ladies that work in there.
Sorry.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. All right, now item 17, consideration and possible action to review estimate for upgrade replacement of AC unit for county assessor's office.
I don't have the, no one gave me the quote. I just got the item.
Does Sarah have it? I'm sorry, I didn't.
No worries.
realize.
No worries. Wayne, we'll get it
Is
sorted.
your unit
I think she had
not
dealt
tied
with.
together?
Huh?
Are we not on the same unit?
There's a couple of units. The unit, we have 2 thermostats in our office. The front one controls this hallway and front part of our office. The one in the back controls the back part of the office and that other copier room. It's the one in the back which has gone out. You all replaced the front one maybe last summer, and then the other one went out.
The challenge with those old units is a lot of those older ones are the R22 varieties. And as the compressors go out, you can't buy an R22 compressor anymore.
I think that's what they were
It's-
telling Sarah.
Yeah, it's kind of an expensive upgrade.
Okay, so it appears we have one quote for just doing repair work and one quote for replacing the entire unit. Repairs, $4,881.63. Unit replacement, $8,442.08. Oh, excuse me, $8,767.90.
But both quotes is from one company.
Yeah. And probably because those are the ones that would come out. We've run into a little problem getting some of these HVAC companies to come out and quote us.
I've already seen that, sir. It's sent to me. That's why it's on our agenda today. So, do we need to go out for multiple quotes or bids on this?
No, I don't think so on that.
What the cost was?
Because it's under 15. Okay. So, one's to patch and the other one's to replace, right?
Yes. Repair and replace.
Repair or replace. Do you have any, as long as you get cold
We
air
just
blowing on you,
want air.
that's all you care about?
I'm sensitive as well, temperature sensitive.
Temperature sensitive.
Okay.
Marvin, the whole thing, I mean, you spend 4,000 patching and over and up, I mean,
Right.
it might last a year, it might last a week. Any kind of warranty on the new one?
It comes with a 1-year service agreement, extended equipment life. So that's not showing anything as far as warranty, except for the service agreement.
Would have the standard 1-year parts and labor.
Yeah.
I mean, you can spend $4,000 patching one up or 8 putting in a new one.
We'll certainly entertain a motion, whichever way you want to go on that, Monty. I mean, you've seen them come and go here a lot longer than the rest of us.
Well, all I know is you can patch on the air conditioner and that's what you're gonna do, patching it up.
Yeah.
If it was me, I would move to the new one.
Well, it kind of is you.
If it was my personal one, I would go with the new
Well,
one.
no, you said if it was me, I would move. So I wrote that down as a motion.
Hey, that's fine with me. I said you can open the windows.
I'll second.
Our air conditioner's working over here.
On opening the windows?
No, he already made the motion.
Okay. So, Monty, did you make a motion?
I did.
To approve the new
I
system?
would recommend we go on the new.
Okay. I have a motion and a second to do the new one in the assessor's office. Any further discussion on that?
Can we pay for that at a resale?
Okay. Thank you, Commissioners.
We have funding in building.
Was that a yes?
Half chuckle.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously.
Chairman, we don't have items 18 and 19.
No 18, no 19. Items 20, consideration on possible action on consent agenda.
Payroll?
Marvin, if all goes will plan with Coltrane, when will it be completed?
I suspect sometime next spring.
Spring?
Yeah.
Completion?
Completion, yeah.
Because they'll let the contract in July. And they normally give the contractors 90 days to start. So that's starting sometime in the fall, late fall, and they don't like laying asphalt. But they will do the Clearing and grubbing, we'll do the ditches and start the prep work this winter and get it ready to lay asphalt next spring. Weather permitting.
Right.
How's the new payroll working out, Troy?
Really good. We haven't heard any issues, and everyone seems to have adapted really well. I think Tracy was planning on sending another countywide email just to let folks know that it'll do the subtraction as well. So if you have someone off and you need to deduct hours because they don't have any way to compensate, if you'll put their hourly wage in and use a negative hour count in the hours, it will do that. So,
The direct deposit at the side of it ain't working yet. But it's getting closer.
Every day's a day closer.
I'm sure glad you're sitting by her and not me down here, Mama, making those comments, getting her fired up.
We'll change.
transfers. They didn't know that I was working up a way to not have to sign all these blankets, but just one signature cover sheet. I think that just flew out the window.
As long as they got ink in their pens, they can wear it.
I don't mind signing.
Wait till the red dot goes off. and click there.
Well, just because we said we would get a price on air conditioning, didn't say we'd put it in.
That was the
Yeah,
whole
we're just
point.
gonna go out and look at prices right now.
That was the whole point of that agenda item.
I don't know who approved it.
Mom and Dad are fine.
Listen, y'all, I'm the least of your worries of the 6 women in that office. Or the 4 in the treasurer's office.
Boy, I feel like I'm being held hostage here.
I'll be thankful we got a job.
While you're filling them out, I need to run back to office because it seems I forgot a couple of things. I'll be right back.
Easy, free place.
Where is it going?
I could've went and got one. Should take it. I don't know. Zoom in on mine.
Money can.
I bet she forgot her credit card bills.
Stamp on
Stamp? Oh, forgot the stamp one.
She must run faster than I thought she would.
She can teleport.
Teleport?
Yeah.
She got a service elevator that goes up there.
Election board cleanup, Marley's on, and alcohol.
$21,557.63.
1,500.
Over 20, that's a good month. Let's say March, February? Valentine's Day. Yeah, no. You know, crease
So,
up.
I signed this here.
Thought I was the only one that did that.
You know, I see these totals for Crescent and Langston, I'm just wondering, where is there to drink at Crescent and
It's
Langston?
not done by business, it's done by population, like the road money, all in a pot and figured out by population.
No, they don't split up pot money. It's like, they got,
Let's not talk about that.
it goes to the state general fund for general purposes.
Yeah, the black market is the one in the state, 'cause
The white markets.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda item for Martin's business.
I'll be
I
right,
will second.
be right at it, gentlemen, thank you. Have a motion and a second on consent agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously. What'd that do with my agenda now?
probably signed it and sent it on.
I did. It's somewhere in that stack. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Well,
I got an extra.
you're a nice guy. All right, item 21, consideration and possible action on claims for payment. Don't let me sign that and send it away again. Just watch me. My agenda's in the stack somewhere, but you don't have to send it back to me.
Okay.
I think I got one or two of these. Wasn't too happy when I found out about it.
Yeah. Let me tell you, stuff happens.
I know.
You get used to it. Just, but it is admirable not to want to be, to get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's me. Yeah, they changed the price on this without telling us on this culvert deal.
It happens.
Well, I think the price of steel goes up by the second, so you gotta call in every day now.
Any type of building material right now is,
Next month. I'll move we approve the claims.
I will second.
Have a motion and a second on approving claims. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Item 22, consideration of possible action on purchase card payments for April 2021.
I'll make a motion to approve. I'm sure they want their money.
I will second.
Have a motion and a second on purchase card payments. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. All right, item 23, any citizen desiring to be heard?
I got my monthly activity report for you guys for April.
Okay,
No, we do that as an official report.
but that's okay, we don't approve it, we just accept it, so.
So you don't want it on as a,
We should, I think we should probably put Steve on every one of our agendas if he has anything that he would like to talk about from the Office of Emergency Management
okay.
to speak to the board on, or the public, because that's, you know,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I got no problem with that.
Thank you.
Excellent. What exciting things did you have happen this last time?
April was pretty busy. I finished up my Northwest workshop up in Guyman. That went in from March to April. Been working on the October ice storm stuff with the state. They'll be here next week to help go through some of that too. And then we had our Guthrie at the high school. We put on an anti-texting driving campaign that went really good with all the first responders, Guthrie Sheriff's Office, the high school, Highway Patrol, Survival Flight landed out there. Put on a storm spotting class.
Yeah, how'd that go? That was one of the first ones we've had in the county in a while, isn't it?
It went really good. We had a bunch of the volunteer fire departments show up from around the county. Some of the volunteers under me, the emergency management guys, and then some from the sheriff's office came, and yeah, Guthrie came, so there was a good turnout.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand there's a lot of interest in having another one of those.
Yes, we'll probably have another one here in a couple of weeks down on the south end of the county with Oak Cliff and Deer Creek at one of the fire departments.
Sure.
On the south end of the county.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
You let me know when that one is.
Yeah, yeah. I'll put out an email and put it on our emergency management Facebook page.
Yeah, great job. I've also noticed you've been helping with some of the other emergencies around
Yeah,
the county. And
we've had a bunch of them this last month. Recent fatality on I-35 the other day. That was an all-night deal.
you took the light set out there to help the
Yeah.
OHP with that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So
Okay, good job.
it's been a busy month of April. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you, sir. Comments, announcements, questions by the Board of Commissioners?
Yeah, I was gonna say something.
Oh, sir, go ahead, yes.
Okay. Last week, obviously, we went out and assisted OBN on a grow operation, and I want to thank District 2 for bringing their equipment and people to help with that. So it could have been a couple-day ordeal had you not came and helped us. Also, we're looking at getting some quotes of trying to get our building repainted. Some of the paint's starting to fall off the concrete, and it's bubbling up quite a bit, so that's going to be something that's going to be coming down the pike to try to get our building back up to a good water barrier on the exterior surface of it.
Right. We did that out at our barn, our district barn, several years back because somebody blew all the paint off the outside of it. We got it sealed up good. I'll see if I can dig around and find the contractor who did that.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're gonna go out for bids on it.
Yes, we are.
Okay. Anything else, sir? All right. Monty?
Nothing, thanks.
I've still got a couple projects going. We finished up the majority part of Otis. We're gonna get some rock. I've got about 2,000 tons of rock coming in that we're gonna start putting around the district. And getting ready to start on our post project. Also, Sheriff, I want to add to that, anytime you need anything, please just let us know, or let me know. I'm sure the rest of the board feels the same way. We'll be glad to help any of our emergency responders anytime.
I agree, just let him know.
Indeed. Bring donuts.
Yeah, might be the third person I call.
Other than that, the rain's coming in. Just ask everybody to be patient and work with us. And that's all I got.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. I would echo the patience on the rain. It's, God's gift to the farmers, but it's the bane of a county commissioner, and every time it rains like that, because the roads do mud up, and we do understand. One of the things I wanted to also bring out that Steve's helping us out with is there's this neighborhood app called Nextdoor, where a lot of our communities are joining up with that, and they have a lot of discussions that go on community to community, and they want to know what's going on, that sort of stuff. So Steve is, Nextdoor doesn't allow subdivisions of a government organization like a county to have our own area there, but they do allow counties to have it. So Steve, as our spokesman, if you will, or our public affairs officer, in that regard, he's signing us up for that. And once that happens, then we'll be able to assign different people to put different things on there. And so one of the things I wanted to reiterate with our public is the ability to open county work orders from our webpage, from email, and from telephoning the district. And if they don't know which district, then call Sarah and find out. But those are all things we can publish on this app, and it's just another way to communicate with our residents. And that's all I have today. With that, I'll entertain a motion on item 25, discussion of possible action on adjournment.
I will second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, gentlemen.